Or I said I'd give you some tips on how to handle the other ones. Specifically, let me do this. Specifically, how do you deal with the exterior beams? And then what else do we have? We have the girder on the interior, and we have a girder on the exterior. Okay, so a girder on column line 3, a girder on column line 5, along with the exterior beam, which would be one like this, right? So let's start off with the first one, exterior beam. The exterior beam is going to be very similar to my video for the interior beam. The only difference is instead of the tributary width being half of the top and half of the bottom section, it's going to be only half of the tributary width. So I'm going to tell you it's going to be very similar. You could almost follow along kind of step by step. The difference is that when you go to draw your beam, the distributed load that you're going to end up getting is going to be less than that of the interior beam. That's going to change your load conditions. It's going to change the type of beam that you're going to use significantly. You might end up with the same beam. You very well likely won't end up with the same beam, but that's the exterior beam. Okay. Now, I'll move on to the girder. So let me erase this. Okay, let's start off with the easier one, I guess. Exterior beam. So this is an important thing to note. The exterior beam is simply supported by the columns. Okay. What it's going to experience is 2 point loads. Those point loads are the magnitude of the reactions. So I know I'm drawing it backwards, but that's actually how it'd be. It's 2 point loads that is equal, where each point load is equal to the reaction force of the beam that's coming across. So if you look at my video, what was the reaction force on the beam end? Now, what's the difference between the exterior beam and the interior beam? Well, this girder is going to experience a point load from this side and from this side, from this side and from this side. So both girders, whether it's exterior or interior, or whether it's on column line 3 or column line 5, are both going to experience point loads. The difference is if this is P and this is P, and that's the reaction force off the beam. We got to remember that each one of these is the reaction force of each beam. This is going to be 2P, 2P. Why? Because there's 2 beams that are coming across the girder and resting on these points. Okay, so when you do your beams, treat them, what you're solving for in the shear and moment that you're going to be solving for is for this condition, not for a distributed load condition. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out, and hopefully you can solve this. Best of luck. If you have any questions, I'll address them on Monday, or you could email me ahead of time. Okay, but remember, this is due Monday. All right, thanks, class.